You're a commercial litigator. So, what are the challenges that you have faced in this regard?
My path, I think, just chose me.
What do you think is it dampening the entrepreneurial spirit across the nation?
In a lot of cases, they do drop investigation also if they don't find something.
Is India ready for same-sex marriages?
India as a country is obsessed with the idea of a marriage.
There are a lot of women lawyers right now, but they're all practicing with a firm. So why is that many women taking that step?
Trust in yourself, find the right team, and you know what? Things just happen.
You lost your father. How do you feel that impacted you?
So it was like overnight you grew up.
You have literally lost almost 31 kgs. Yeah. What was the turning point?
You know, you are what you eat.
Our guest for today is Neeha Nagpal. She is a legal powerhouse who heads her own law firm. I can't wait to talk to her about her professional career path, her phenomenal physical transformation, and all in all, her unconventional life choices. Thank you so much for joining us on the Because She Can podcast, Neha.
It's a pleasure to be here, and of course, you know, being a part of the committee, it's something I'm really grateful that I've been able to do with you guys.
Neha, I know you're a very busy lady and you're coming straight from the court to the studio. And before I jump into the conversation with you, I have a very important question to ask.
Oh my God, this sounds dangerous.
It is. You have to tell me what's in your bag.
Oh, wow, you should prepare me for this one. What's in my bag? So it's a very functional kind of a bag that I have.
Okay.
It's
Is it day to night?
It's good for a day travel also.
Acha.
Basically, like I said, very functional. It has my hairbrush, it has my iPad, it has my phone, it has my little pencil box.
Pencil box has fit in that?
It's got my pens, it's got my little stickies that I need all the time on me to sort of, you know, while reading a file, and a whole host of colored pens and color pencils because I'm marking a file when I'm reading it.
Wow, you are really a well-prepared lawyer. I can see that.
And then I have my makeup kit, which has anything literally, so I can go to work with it. I can go out for a party with it because it has like literally everything that I put.
I love it.
And a little perfume, and oh my God, one thing I cannot do without my AirPods, and some chewing gum. Would you like some?
No, I'm good for now. Wow, that I can't believe that tiny bag has fit in.
It takes in my
so
life.
Much.
Yeah, it takes in my life.
I love it. Okay, so now deep diving here with you. You're a commercial litigator, and as a subset of law, that still remains a very male-dominated practice, as far as I understand. So, what are the challenges that you have faced in this regard?
So, you know, it's a very interesting question, actually. So, of course, I'm a commercial litigator, but with a focus on white-collar crime and insolvency. That heavily itself is a very male-dominated profession, or aspect of the profession. So it's over the years, of course, the number of women coming into the profession has gone up significantly, but then they choose, or it just maybe the corporate side of things lures them in. My path, I think, just chose me. I think I've been very lucky that the path welcomed me in kind of situation. Even when it came to becoming a lawyer, and obviously also the area of law I've been practicing.
So it wasn't like a predetermined
no, it just
choice.
Happened on its own, and that's the beauty of it. You know, you're in the flow of things. I think it's largely just sitting with your own conviction, being awfully well prepared when you go in. Like, and I tell myself this, and I've been saying this since a few years now. This is my own way of motivating myself because, you know, till date, I've been practicing law for 16 years. How do you make yourself noticed? Of course, you're in minority, so you're noticed, or you just be so good with your subject that they can't ignore you. So I
Yeah.
think that
They,
really
they
works.
can't take you for
Yeah, and
granted.
of course there is a certain degree of, you have to command your own respect with the way you conduct yourself.
Absolutely.
Give that respect, you get it back. Be polite, be well prepared, and the rest just happens.
Neha, I want to ask you. So, I mean, this is the unfortunate truth in our country that there's a lot of pendency when it comes to cases in our country, and like the judiciary seems overburdened. But then the government also came out and said that the cases that are very, very important, they are fast tracked to the fast track courts. But as a lawyer, I want to ask you, what is the actual reality there?
So see, firstly, yes, there is a bottleneck. It's something every government talks about, every new Chief Justice of India talks about. It's something, amongst lawyers we talk about very, very often. The fast track court system is for largely for sexual offense cases,
Yes.
which really need that
Immediate.
immediate recourse.
Yeah.
Um, I think the judiciary in this country is doing its best. You have judges literally even in summer holidays. Last week
Yeah.
the Delhi High Court was sitting till 10 o'clock at night. Bombay High Court also, there are very many times you have judges sitting till really long hours. Even during the pandemic, because judges were working from home, they were sitting for very, very long hours.
And Sundays are the busiest days for
Correct,
lawyers.
because we are preparing for Monday.
Yeah.
So literally sometimes Monday are an anticlimax to your weekend. Some people suffer from Monday blues. I think some of us suffer from Sunday blues.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not that the system is not working, but the judge to population ratio
Yes.
is
Skewed.
very, very skewed. Yes, obviously the narrative and the conversations are building around it. Today, the Chief Justice of India, the current Chief Justice of India, is doing everything to sort of digitize things, which will definitely make it easier going forward. So, I mean, there is hope. Of course, there is. And with digital courts, the way things are being, even filings are being digitalized, I'm sure things will start getting better. The intention is there. If on a lighter note, going back to Sunny Deol's dialogue, Tariq pe Tariq, if it was
तारीख पर तारीख तारीख पर तारीख तारीख पर तारीख तारीख पर तारीख मिलती रही है लेकिन इंसाफ नहीं मिला मिलोट
for that, most of us lawyers wouldn't be in business.
I love that. So you said that as a litigator, you worked on a lot of white collar crimes, and I want to touch upon that a little bit. That given the climate that we are in right now, especially the agencies like the ED, they seem to be coming down on businesses a little too hard. In your experience, what do you think, is it dampening the entrepreneurial spirit across the nation?
Well, this is really a very hot debate. It's being debated literally all the time, everywhere. Recently, I read a magazine which had a cover page on something like this. About 2 months ago, the opposition filed a petition in the Supreme Court, complaining about how agencies are going excessively cracking down on all and sundry. My own view is that, look, you need to have checks and balances.
Yeah.
You need to be in a system where the thing is, for any economy to function, you can't also let it become a place where there are no there is a law but it's not enforced. So it's very important for agencies to be on the ball, to be proactive, to try and nip things in time and not let something
After 10 years.
after 10 years,
Which was what was happening.
yeah. So
prior.
in fairness to
Yeah.
the agencies, yes, they may be very robust today, but they're also very fair. It's not that they are unnecessarily just, oh, I don't like your face and coming after you. When the minute they find something, they'll ask, they'll raise questions, and if in a lot of cases they do drop investigation also if they don't find something. The problem is that the media is also so robust today, and they're constantly focusing on ab ye hua, ab wo hua, and there's something on Twitter constantly about this one got raided and that one's being investigated. So you just think that this is the only thing happening in the economy. I'm sure there's lots of growth happening. We are geopolitically a lot stronger than we were a few years ago.
Fastest growing GDP.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
and when you grow, so it's growing in tandem, right? Like if the economy is growing, the incidences of, say, economic offenses are also growing, maybe not at the same pace, thank God, but
Yeah.
there is a correlation between
Yeah.
the two.
I guess it's a bit of a lot of the media paraphernalia around these
Yes,
high-profile
yes.
cases.
And I don't think it's dampening the spirit that much also, because we are, like you also said, the fastest growing
Yeah,
PAP.
yeah, totally agree with you. Just circling back a little bit, that you are in this sense working on a lot of white collar cases, but you've also, in your personal capacity as a lawyer, worked on a lot of cases that have social impact.
Correct.
And I want to specifically touch upon a few of them. So you also worked in Section 377 on the decriminalization of homosexuality. And now, in present, you're also challenging the same-sex marriage in court.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, A, why such cases? That's a different part of your personality that's coming out. And B, is India ready for same-sex marriages?
Wow, that is really a deep dive. So I think for me to be a friend of the LGBTQ community literally comes from a very important part of my life, which is my best friend and another very dear friend. Unfortunately, he passed away, but of course, my best friend. He's been the champion of the cause in the country, and I think it just growing up around both of them, because I've known them since I was pretty much, I don't know, very tiny, miney. And it was the most normal thing. There was never any judgment that he's a gay man, or oh, you can't be friends with him. None of that. My parents were like, look, you're our best friends, you're our best friends. How does it matter? And they're very normal people. In fact, very sensitive too. So it was phenomenal knowing him, and there was no way that you don't. There's a sense of loyalty for your friends, right?
Yeah.
So my
absolutely.
support for the community literally came because of my closest friends. And then of course things just happened in the sense, and when we came together to challenge the Section 377, which criminalized homosexuality between consenting adults. So it's been a beautiful journey in that sense.
Kudos to you, Neha.
Thank you. It was done from a
Yeah.
place of love, and I think and I personally believe that everybody has the right to love, everybody has the right to choose who they want to
Absolutely.
love, and everybody has the
Yeah.
right to choose the family they want. It doesn't matter. Gender is very notional, I feel. The second question, is India ready for same sex marriage? Well, I think India as a country is obsessed with the idea of a marriage.
Clearly.
You're born later.
Great Indian wedding.
No, but a child
Yeah.
is born later, but the parents have already planned,
Started deciding about
their wedding.
Yeah.
So, or their marriage. So I think it's, and the minute you have the right to love and choose who you want to love, isn't it just
Yeah, it sort of doesn't make sense that you have the right
like
to choose the person you want to love, but you cannot get married in the
cannot
country.
get married? Like, and
Yeah.
I think it's about equality, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
about if two people, a man and a woman, love each other and they have the right to marry, then why shouldn't two people of the same gender, if they want to make that commitment to themselves, have that sort of social status as well? India being ready, well, I think a section of society definitely is. It's a process. Let's see. The Supreme Court has heard the petitions. We are awaiting judgment. So let's see what happens.
Fingers
crossed. Yes.
Neha, you touched upon the right of choice of family. So, as we speak, you're also challenging the prohibition of surrogacy in India. Tell us more about that.
So it really, obviously, all these pieces of legislation that impact lives, in the sense that actually every piece of legislation impacts a life, that impacts the personal space of a human being, or their right to love, or their right to choice to love, or their right to family. Somewhere strike a chord. I mean, clearly I'm a huge unconditional love kind of person. Maybe therefore the name Neha chose me, because that does mean love. So I think it's somewhere an emotional side of me which comes out. It's very empowering that you can actually make a difference to so many lives by what I do. So I think it comes from that space, and that's how I ended up working on this petition which challenges the prohibition of surrogacy laws. I think that in genuine case, the en masse prohibition on surrogacy is not what I stand for. Yes, it needs to be regulated. Yes, you just can't use India as this hub for surrogacy. That is definitely wrong. Should be
curb the
curtailed.
malpractices.
Correct. But there are genuine cases.
Yeah.
As the age of marriage is increasing, or people, fail first marriage and
Absolutely.
second marriage happens late 30s, early 40s, the incidence of PCOD, the incidence of pre-diabetes, or other such, breast cancer,
Yeah.
ovarian cancer with women now is so common. They genuinely need aid and help, because you've had a medical condition as serious as maybe breast cancer. I literally know someone, a 32-year-old unmarried girl,
You
who's been
cannot
diagnosed with breast
actually.
cancer.
It's
uh,
literally taking that
Chin
option
away
away.
from you, or
Yeah.
from, any person. I think that is a bit not done.
Drastic.
Yeah, it's a bit drastic. So it comes from that space of wanting to help, wanting to make a difference,
Hmm.
and wanting something which is, again, I really believe there has to be a balance, and there has to be a harmony between a
Correct.
prohibition and a right, and a right as vital as this. The joy of motherhood, or the joy of parenthood, in fact, that matter, ought not to be denied to anybody, especially in genuine cases of medical issues.
Circling back a little bit, because you primarily have worked on a lot of high profile white collar crimes, I want to touch upon that a little bit in detail. And you're, of course, working with your clients at their most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe some of them have gone from their highest highs to their lowest
Lowest lows.
lows. I want to ask you that, does it take a toll on you personally? And how do you detach? And like, I'm trying to understand, how do you work?
So, I've personally had a huge journey there as well. It's obviously, you don't learn your hacks or your tricks, or that you should have these
Of
boundaries and
course.
filters day one. I
Yeah.
mean,
And you're
this is,
working with human
you're
beings
working with
at the
human
end of
beings,
the
and
day.
I am somebody who's an emotional person. So today, 16 years into the profession, doing this for 16 long years, I have my A game on. I know my sort of tools to disengage, disconnect, yet function from a place of compassion. And one thing I really believe, that nobody goes to a doctor or a lawyer, especially not a litigator, at their happiest. So deal with
Correct.
somebody who comes to you with a degree of compassion, because it's not their easiest time. And yes, you put it correctly. There are times I'm dealing with people who've been on a fancy Forbes list and lived the life, and today they're actually grappling, and their world is crashed. So they themselves are facing a lot of turmoil within, not just emotionally, not just financially, but even within their own ecosystem.
Yeah.
And suddenly the lawyers step in to play multiple roles, as a friend, maybe as definitely their legal advisor, sometimes even just as a confidant. And yes, there is a lot of negativity with it, because there's their angst, and energy
Correct.
is something which is just, you don't know.
Transferable.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
easily transferable if you don't consciously put a boundary to it.
Yeah.
I went through a phase where literally I fell ill, because I had started consuming so much of that angst, that anger, that agitation. It's very hard energy. Um, and then obviously through that, it was like literally like raising myself again, like the phoenix. And I sort of realized that I need to step back. I need to have boundaries. I need to have my me time. So I do switch off. I do detach.
Yeah.
I learned how to say no to maybe answering that one phone call at 10:30 at night or 11 o'clock, instead sending a message. Yeah, so we have to find, like for me, playing the piano now has become something which really, really helps me decongest my headspace.
Neha, I want to talk to you a little bit more about your personal life now. You shared with me that at 24, which believe is still a very impressionable age, we're out in the big bad world, but we're still finding
Yeah, correct.
ourselves. You had a tragic loss. You lost your father. Looking back, how do you feel that impacted you personally and professionally?
So, Stuti, I've divided my life into two halves. Uh,
Hmm.
Pre my father, as in when he was with us, and post him.
I guess that's very natural for someone when they lose their
Of
parents,
course it
especially
is.
at a
And it's
young
at
age.
any age, it's not easy to
Yeah.
lose a parent. And 24 was, it was growing up overnight. And the sad part is that my father passed away, and 10 months later, my grandfather passed away.
Okay.
So it was literally within a year, from being a family of six that lives together, dada, dadi, mom, dad, my brother, me, we were down to four of us. And my dadi was, at the cusp of 80. My mother was in her mid or early 50s, a housewife, a homemaker. My brother was a 20-year-old. So suddenly, I had just finished, my law degree. I'd come back from England. So it was like overnight you grow up, and you're
Mm,
thrown into this sea that, oh, you're with a pack of wolves. You're dancing with them, you're swimming with them, figure life out. it made me realize today when I look back that I have a sense of resilience within me, which I didn't even know I had. It's obviously made me realize the good and the bad and the ugly. It's made me a lot more humble, I think. Not that I'm saying I wasn't, but I think you value humility as something because you realize there's it's a conscious choice you make to be humble because you realize that everything there's an impermanence to everything.
Yeah.
And you look at I have a choice. I had a choice to say, oh God, I lost my dad at 24. Why me? Or thank God I had him for those 24 years, and I've learned so much from him. He had to go one day, it's fine. But you know what, I will live by all those beautiful memories. I chose to look at it like that and look at my relationship with him with a sense of gratitude. So I think that's it's I have no regrets. It's sort of just it's I think made me the person I am today, and I'm grateful for every bit of that.
You know, now I'm just pivoting a little bit here. You are really a poster child when it comes to personal physical transformation. And over the past few years, you have literally lost almost 31 kgs.
Yeah.
What was the turning point? Like, at what point did you decide that this is a change now I need to make and I need to commit to it?
So I think I was battling with a situation where I was on a constant work treadmill, working 16, 17 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is right after my father passed away, and this became a life. Like for 5 years after him, it was just my life. There were erratic hours. So it's 6 o'clock in the evening. I haven't had lunch. Damn it, let's just order a pizza. Or if you're in Bengali market because work office was there, let's just get chola kulcha or let's just get a samosa. Not realizing what I was eating. And all of this, you are what you eat. I understand that today. Today, I understand how much of a carb one should have, what time you should have it, what is a protein, what is a good fat versus a bad fat. Having been through the process, but back then I didn't. I was just overloading myself with anything that came my way because I was hungry, and it was a lot of mindless eating. And I think a beautiful concept that I've learned is a primary plate and a secondary plate. A primary plate is everything that's off your actual eating plate, which is the secondary plate. And primary plate is divided into 4 quadrants of our life: relationships, spirituality, work, and exercise, movement. Anything out of whack in one 4 of those affects what you eat. So it was literally regaining my power, regaining myself to put myself in a place where I was just like, hey, I'm not happy with this body size. I'm not happy being this plus size girl. I don't love myself. What am I doing all of this for? What is the purpose of my existence if I'm not happy with who I am? Yeah. And I think that's where, with those gut health issues, with all of that, they started this process. And then I lost 3 kilos. It was super exciting. That kept me to keep going more. And before I knew it, it was just a way of life. And it's been a beautiful way of life. That led me to actually, then I was very curious. I said, but hang on, if I have to stick on this path, I want to understand nutrition. And then I ended up studying nutrition through IIN. It's an online platform based in New York, though. And I've done 2 sort of modules with them. And it's sort of been the depth that one can go into and really understand how fascinating the human body is just so amazing.
So yeah, I think what you touched upon, that when we look at a physical transformation, it's always, I personally believe, inside out as well. You have to work on your internal state,
of course.
State for that physical outside manifestation to show. I want to ask you something that, like, it's very hard, like especially when sometimes you're not seeing the physical changes that you want. Like, what kept you motivated on this long journey of like reaching your target weight goal?
So I'll tell you, initially, of course, I was driven by I have to be this weight, I have to be that weight. So I was fortunate, I think, that I lost a chunk of weight in a seamless flow. Then I plateaued for over 18 months.
That is what I'm telling you. That happens for everybody, and a lot of people give up.
But
at that
I think
point.
somewhere, I'm very fortunate that I think there's a sense of alignment. And I kept getting like a random post would come up somewhere on Insta.
The universe was motivating you.
Motivating me. I remember reading this post somewhere which said and I really needed it that day, when motivation ends, discipline kicks in. And I was like, I really need to hear this. And I realized that to sustain even this weight loss, I need to have a sense of discipline. So I sat down and wrote down like a routine that I wanted to follow. then that thing led me to, maybe bettering that, because I was now studying nutrition, reading a lot about it, some little life hacks here, some little life changes there. I learned about a process called thermogenesis,
Which is?
which is very interesting. The internal body heat that is created that helps you burn fat. How do you raise the body temperature? Is by sipping hot water through the day. Consciously made a choice to keep like a, now of course I have my ember mug which controls the temperature of the flask, but I keep that with me everywhere, and I keep sipping hot water. So little life hacks, and I think it just figures it. I think you have to just commit to the process.
This is so interesting. I love it. And so much information I've gathered from talking to you, especially these life hacks. But a lot of people listening in, there's always, especially when it comes to wanting to be a certain weight, everybody is like, oh, but she could do it. Neha is more disciplined. I can't. Or it's, a lot of this negative self voice, a lot of self doubt happens that just prevents people from not even starting, from not even taking that step.
I was there too.
Yeah. So for someone like that listening in, what would your advice be?
Let go of limiting beliefs. We are, unfortunately, I don't know where this happens. We're all born as beautiful little babies, children, and through the vagaries of life, before we know it, there's this negative speak that starts. In fact, one of the things that I went through when I started on my physical transformation path in 2017 was to get away with the negative speak. Do it once, do it twice, correct that thought there and then. And you know what? The minute you're happier, things just happen. Like, the day I'm actually in a bad mood, maybe I've had a fight with a close friend, maybe work hasn't gone as perfect as I haven't had a good day in court, or maybe just, I don't know, something hasn't gone the way I wanted it to go, or I'm missing my dad too much or something, and I'd be like, listen, it's fine. I can just have like a little extra piece of chocolate, or maybe just eat a little, binge eat or something. But all of that comes from a place when I'm not feeling my best. So it comes out like I said, primary plate, secondary plate. But the minute there is a positive thought, the minute there is a happy thought, the minute I'm living in gratitude in the moment, I don't think I feel hungry. I'm quite okay to, and I have, in fact, I practice that a lot now because I do these 16-hour long fasts every day, 16 to 17-hour long fasts every day, intermittent fasting. And I see the day I'm agitated, I can't go more than 12 hours. So I think it's about just being grateful in that moment that kind of just, dissipates any agitation, which for me then dissipates even the need to go and eat.
You exemplify breaking stereotypes both in your professional and personal life.
You're just being too kind.
No, it's true. And why I say that is you recently shared with me that you took the decision of freezing your eggs. And in India, it's still sort of very nascent. People sort of don't understand it, and hence we tend to judge things we don't understand. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. Tell us, why did you decide to do so?
I didn't do it because, oh my God, it's to break any barriers or to break any, path. I did it because I wanted to do it. Why did I want to do it? Because single in the city, I do want to have children one day, or at least I want to have that option to have children one day. And today, medical science allows us the luxury, to lock in time.
Why not take advantage?
Why not take advantage of it? It's like an insurance policy, right? So it's, and I'm very grateful that my ecosystem supported it.
Yes, very important.
Yeah, my closest family, my closest friends. I was able to take time out of work to be able to do it. So yeah, I think, and you know what? It's today. You never know with where life takes you. And I think if those who want to lock in time, want to secure themselves on that, want to, or at least secure the option of, having a family, should definitely go ahead and do so. I don't think there's no stigma. Why should there be a stigma attached to it? It's a simple medical process.
But I wanted to touch upon that because it's still considered taboo in our society, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I don't think there should be any taboo to it. It's a painful in the sense that you have to go through.
Yeah, it's a medical procedure.
Yeah. But I don't think it's in any manner, I don't understand the taboo around it.
Yeah.
I think I'm missing the point there, but because it's just a normal medical procedure, which just, it's more like an insurance policy. Simply put, it's an insurance policy.
You said single in this city, and from where I'm sitting, I see you as, why do we have to, first of all, be defined as single or not single? I see you as a happy, thriving, successful woman.
Again, too
But
kind.
no, I mean it. I don't
Thank
lie.
you.
But do you feel people outside, like people in society, stereotyping you for that or judging you? Do you feel that outer criticism, and then how do you deal with it?
So I'm often asked that, oh, so many times people are talking to me about something, or um, somebody will call for like a little positivity chat or a mentoring chat. Oh, but don't judge me for this. My answer to everybody is very simple. Listen, I don't judge. That's not my job. I don't think any human being ought to judge another because you don't know their circumstances. Um,
Absolutely.
when I say single in the city, it's I mean, I'm a firm believer that you will meet somebody, you will be with someone when you're meant to be with them. I surrender to that, and I know I will meet somebody when I have to, and I'm open to that. So therefore, it's not out of choice that I'm single in the city. It's just what it is, and it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me whether I'm single or whether I mean I whether I'm with someone or not. I think what matters to me most is that I'm a happy evolving soul, and if somebody has a problem with that, it's their problem, not my problem.
I love that honesty.
You know that song, right? Tera ghata mera kuch nahi jata. It's literally my
Yeah.
attitude. You have a problem, tera ghata mera kuch nahi jata.
I love that. Neha, your journey has been very interesting because the way I see it, there are a lot of women lawyers right now, but they're all practicing with the firm. But you sort of stepped out and have started your own firm. So, why is that, first of all? That why are not many women taking that step? And secondly, what has your journey been like?
So why are women not taking that step, Stuti? That is something which is, I guess, again, it is slightly intimidating. It's not that, when I took that decision, there was just something on the inside that kept wanting me to do. So I was working with a great firm. I was really happy there, doing some great work, had a great equation with, whoever I was with, the whole team that I was working with. Um, and I had just been made associate partner. And despite that, I sort of at that, literally within months of that, decided to
Go
step out,
solo.
yeah, set up my own
Hmm.
boutique practice with, of course, a partner of mine. Uh,
Okay.
but I don't know, it was just something on the inside, and sometimes you just listen to yourself.
I guess it's the entrepreneurial
Yeah, maybe
bug.
it was that
Yeah.
entrepreneurial side that I want to do something, because with great freedom also comes great responsibility. It also brings you it allows you like this field to discover yourself, build yourself. I think maybe it was that desire. Yes, you're right that the number of women led firms in comparison to male led setup firms are very few. But then that's, I guess, because it is unfortunately still very, we still have a few more barriers to break,
Hmm.
a few more glass ceilings to break. It takes a
Tell
tad.
us about that. More about the barriers. What do
So,
you
the
mean?
thing is that the working hours are very erratic.
Yeah.
You're dealing with you're largely the people I deal with are men. So you're now suddenly instead of being under a larger umbrella of a firm, you are the umbrella yourself. Or here my partner and I are the
Hmm.
umbrellas. It takes a little bit of definitely courage, a lot of putting yourself out there. So I think, and it also means getting out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, it
And
does.
as it is, when you have a profession which is so demanding, so challenging on your time, it does take a toll on your personal life. So I think maybe sometimes that is also a concern for women to go out there and do it. But I don't see that as a reason. Trust in yourself, find the right team, and you know what? Things just happen.
Neha, this has been such an enriching conversation. I've learned so much about not
Just
just the legal
like I said, you're
scenario,
too kind. No, I've really enjoyed talking
but
to you,
also
Stuti.
about physical transformation. But on a lighter note, I have a really
There's that too.
there's that too. I have a fun segment planned for you,
Interesting.
and it's
Is it like the
called
coffee with Karan last section where you get roasted?
not exactly roasted, but then we are toasting. So it's called Toast to the Post.
Interesting. Is
I
there some champagne?
maybe after, off the cameras. I have a few posts from my Instagram that I'm going to show you.
Scary.
and you have to tell me what was happening there.
Sure, okay. This is not toasting, this is definitely roasting. But
No.
go ahead.
Are you ready, Neha?
Absolutely nervous now.
You can't see your Instagram while I'm showing you the pictures.
I'm trying to see what am I supposed to quickly delete.
Too late. Okay, the first one I have for you is this.
Oh my God.
What was happening here?
This, I was, for a very dear friend's 40th birthday, which was last May, had gone to Euro Disney.
Okay.
And it was literally like reliving my childhood.
We're never too old for
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Actually, so many of the rides were actually not for children.
Okay, the second one. I think this is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
So what was happening here when you posted this?
So I think I needed some motivation at that point. This is 2005 when I was like a whatever. And that's 2020.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So it was just, you know, I was sitting and doing this because I wanted some inspiration. I think it was in the middle of the pandemic and I was just feeling very blah. And my mom had told me, maybe you put on some weight. And I was like, no, see this. So that's how I posted it.
But it takes courage to put that out on social media. This is so cute. Tell us about this.
This is my daddy and me. I'm always
How
daddy.
old were you here?
I think a few months. Maybe a year.
Okay.
Maybe just about a year.
Adorable. And the last question I want to ask you, another thing, it's a little show and tell, but because another thing I found from your Instagram is that you got a tattoo.
I have two, but which one are you talking about?
Okay, I saw only one. So the one I saw on Instagram, show us that tattoo and what it signifies, the grateful heart.
Here, the grateful heart. Here.
So when did you get this and what does it signify for you?
So, you know, I wanted to get a tattoo on my arm for years, since actually 2014, 2015. And so I was having this conversation with a friend of mine in 2014-15, and Priyanka Chopra just got her tattoo after losing her father, which said daddy's girl. I'm like, but it doesn't sit with me. Then somebody said, get fearless. Then I wanted to get like the eternity, but nothing was sitting right with me. And I kept waiting. I said, it'll come to me. This is 23rd or 24th of December 2021.
Okay.
This was I mean, obviously at that point, even now, gay marriages are not recognized in India, but this gay couple friend of mine wanted to do a little ceremony to solemnize their relationship, and they were doing it in Udaipur. We were sitting, a bunch of us, like, it was a very close-knit affair. They'd taken over the whole property, but it was just like about 30 people.
COVID wedding.
Yeah, COVID wedding. We were sitting at this, it was sunset, it was around sunset, and it was a beautiful setting that we were sitting at, where we were overlooking the lake, and dinner was being served really early in the evening or whatever. And I was sitting with somebody next to me. I didn't know them because they'd mixed up, you know, the sit-down arrangement where whoever sits next to you, you don't know them. And this lady and I were having a conversation. She was from Bangalore, and I said something about, look, you know, look at this view, and one should be really grateful for it. And I think I used the word grateful 3-4 times in like our conversation, and she looked at me and said, you're one grateful heart. And I was just like, yes, I am. And I was like, you know what? That is what I wanted. That is it. And she's like, what just happened? I was like, this is my aha moment. I was looking for a tattoo on my arm. Grateful heart. That is me, and that's who I want to be. That's the choice I make. So she's like, are you going to go get inked? I said, exactly. I'm going back tomorrow. Day after, I'm going and getting inked. And from there, I literally called up my niece. I said, can you book me for a tattoo appointment before I change my mind? 26 December 2021, I went and got inked.
When you know, you know.
When you know, you know. It was just that instinctive.
I love it. Yeah. The fun never stops at the Because She Can studio.
Because we are fun.
We have another segment, a fun segment. With the other Neha in the house. So it's called
Love it.
Rapid Fire with NJ.
What's up?
What's up?
Hi, Neha. Hi, Neha.
Can I say hi to you now? So, hi Neha from another Neha. And in fact, it looks like a role reversal. Huh? You are in a white, I'm in a black. I look more like a lawyer. Huh?
I'm very happy to give you my bar ID card. You can take it around.
I have plenty fun questions for you to ask. Why you choose to be a lawyer?
Oh, God, okay.
But actually, your journey has been very impressive.
Thank
your
you.
Groundbreaking work with the litigation, your thought-provoking
opinions on so many social issues. That's really, really impressive.
Thank you.
I've been
Thank you. Guys are
hearing-
just too kind.
No, really, it is. Our listeners would be too happy to hear and know so many new things from you.
Thank you.
And I hope the process continues.
Inshallah.
So I have some questions for you, and you may choose always to answer.
I love that.
Okay. If not a lawyer, you would have been
A lawyer.
perfect. How would you define yourself as a 13-year-old girl?
Overweight. Not so happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And for our very young listeners, something that you had in you and you're very proud of that was my one characteristic that I still continue to have.
I think I can just make friends very easy. Like I'm super. I can chit chat with anybody.
Ah.
Yeah. So I have
You know-
literally. I have my youngest friend is probably 5 years old,
Uh-huh.
and my oldest chit chat buddy is probably whom I'm supposed to actually go meet after this is 82. No, she's 83.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice.
I think Nehas can do that
Yeah.
because what they mean is what you just said.
Yeah.
One who gives love.
Love.
Yeah.
So I think, and that's, if you would ask me to really describe myself today,
Yes.
I'd say I'm just a loving, happy, evolving soul.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank
So-
you for that. How many times have you been to a jail to meet your white collar clients? I'm sure I don't want to offend anyone, but
Well, I end up going once a week only.
really? And can you please describe something about your experiences in the jails?
So I had a really funny experience one. When you go in, you have to like really enter your details, name, mobile number, blah, 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 all of that. Of course, who you're going to meet. You have to give your bar ID card. Did it as regular process. Didn't even bother to see that a lot of people who go there are most men, and that I could become like an object of obsession for the guy taking my name and number, who's going to start messaging me very soon. Madam, very pretty. I think
Oops.
I was just like, oh God, no, this is not.
That is not the place where you wanted to come from.
Nevertheless, it was hilarious, funny. He obviously didn't. I mean, he stopped that inspector thing, but it was quite funny.
But thanks for this incident. I have another question related. What one quality that you see in a man that impresses you?
I think I innately end up getting very excited, or I end up having a crush on a man who's bloody brilliant and humble. But surprisingly, there are enough of them around. All married though.
So, but if you're stuck on an island with somebody, your fantasy would be a man, like somebody we all know probably.
Abhishek Bachchan?
Oh,
Because he's actually intelligent. Yeah.
yeah, he's
And
witty.
He's very witty. And he's, whenever I've seen him around an airport 2-3 times. Once he was on the same flight with me back from London to Delhi. Very humble.
Abhishek, you have to know this. Somebody's there, ready to get stuck with you on an island. One cliche that you think is not true for a lawyer. There are a lot of cliches, but one,
that they argue a lot.
they don't.
In their personal space, I don't think we want peace. Yeah, we do that for a living. Chhod do akele.
Amazing. Okay, some quick ones. Adventure spots or chilling on a beach?
Going on a hike.
A hike.
mountain
A
hike,
hike also
yeah.
comes in adventure. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. DSLR or phone camera on a vacation?
Phone camera on a vacation. Phone camera anywhere. Yeah.
I know that she has a lot of inclination towards photography.
I love it.
Getting yourself clicked or clicking? What is your choice?
Both.
Both. If you have to start a movement, what would it be called?
This whole year started with this whole concept of being free and no limiting beliefs. So I think for me, it's for me as a movement, if I were to, I would hashtag something. It'd be hashtag happy freedom.
Oh.
Or hashtag no limiting beliefs.
Okay, very
Or-
interesting. I know you have been on a fitness regime for quite some time now, but your food indulgence would be?
Dark chocolate. Dark
Okay.
chocolate. Dark chocolate.
Uh.
Or more than that, actually, I think minus 30 espresso ice cream, like the whole tub. that I
Oh,
can
lovely.
finish, Yeah.
So a very interesting question from our team, which they really wanted to ask, that जो ये actually दिखाते हैं TV में courtroom scene, is it actually like that or is it somewhat different?
Oh, it's a lot different. It's a lot more dramatic. No, that order doesn't happen, but it's a
Okay.
lot more dramatic. Full on drama.
But you take an oath, you stand in that.
That's only in when a trial is going on, when
Okay.
somebody's giving evidence.
Right.
When you're arguing, you obviously nobody needs to take an oath.
Right.
But arguments are sometimes so funny and hilarious and full on drama. Full on drama. It's quite cute.
Thank you so much, Neha.
With
And as
pleasure.
a token of our appreciation, may I please ask Divya to
Aw,
give you a beautiful memento?
Thank you. That's so special.
So thank you so much, Neha, for being here.
With pleasure.
But before I give this to you, I'd love to know, what does "because she can" mean for you?
Because she can means to me that women can really have it all. Just define your all and rule the world.
Love it. Thank you.
Aw.
Thank you for being here. You are such an inspiration.
Thank you for having me.
I have
and-
known you since you were 3 years
No,
old,
no.
and you just continue every time to inspire.
You inspire as well, Divya, with all that you're doing.
With your legal journey, with you fighting for what you believe is right, and of
Thank
course,
you.
your fitness journey has been inspirational.
You have inspired me on that, really, honestly.
So yes, for being here and
Thank
being a role
you.
model for us.
Thank you.
And thank you, Stuti and
Thanks.
Neha.
It's been a pleasure.